Science in Sleeping, the calm story of the Big Bang. Welcome back to Science in Sleeping, a place where curiosity meets calm and the wonders of the universe unfold gently while you rest. Tonight, we're drifting into the origins of everything around us, exploring the Big Bang in a way that's slow, soothing, and easy to follow. Whether you're lying in bed after a long day or just seeking a moment of peaceful reflection, this story is for you. I hope this helps you drift off gently, or at least quiets the noise in your mind for a little while. You don't need to remember every fact or detail. There's no pressure here. Just the comfort of knowing the universe is vast, mysterious, and wonderfully ordered in ways we are only beginning to understand. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're watching from and what time it is. Perhaps the city lights are dimming, or maybe it's a quiet countryside night. Wherever you are, this is your space to relax, unwind, and let the story carry you. Tonight, we'll journey from the tiniest spark of energy to the expansion of time itself, tracing the unfolding of stars, galaxies, and the cosmic patterns that make our universe both beautiful and strange. We'll explore the Big Bang not as a hurried explanation, but as a slow, unfolding tale, like a gentle river carrying you along. You don't need to remember any of this. Just let the imagery and ideas drift through your mind as your body sinks deeper into comfort. Allow your breath to slow, your muscles to loosen, and your thoughts to soften. This is your time to let go, to relax, and to explore. Now settle in, get comfortable, perhaps adjust your pillows just so. Feel the weight of the day slipping away as we begin our journey. Imagine the quiet of the cosmos around you, the soft glow of distant stars, and the gentle pulse of the universe itself. This is a story for your mind and your rest, a place where learning and sleep coexist. As we move forward, there will be moments of wonder, moments of curiosity, and moments where your mind can simply float. Each idea, each explanation is a lullaby for your intellect, a calming whisper of the cosmos meant to soothe and inspire. So take a deep breath, let your eyes grow heavy, and allow the story to carry you into a night of peaceful exploration and gentle sleep. Now, let's begin our journey into the very beginning, into the first spark of creation, the Big Bang, and the calm, unfolding story of how our universe came to be. Have you ever wondered what the universe looked like before there was time, space, or even light? Imagine a moment when everything we know was compressed into a single, tiny point, smaller than the smallest grain of sand, and yet containing the potential for everything that would ever exist. It's a strange thought, one that can feel both impossible and magical. Picture yourself standing in the quiet of your bedroom at night, the soft hum of the world outside fading into silence. Now imagine that same quietness stretched across the vastness of space, a darkness filled with the potential for stars, galaxies, and entire worlds yet to form. Feel the gentle pulse of the cosmos, the slow rhythm of creation that mirrors your own calm heartbeat. In the beginning, the universe was in a state we call singularity, a point of infinite density and unimaginable heat. There was no up or down, no here or there, only the compacted energy waiting for release. Then, around 13.8 billion years ago, something extraordinary happened, the Big Bang. Not an explosion in the traditional sense, but an expansion, a stretching of space itself, like blowing air slowly into a balloon. Did you know that the universe expanded faster than the speed of light in the first tiny fraction of a second? Faster than anything we can truly imagine. As space expanded, it cooled, allowing energy to transform into the first particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons. These particles danced together, forming the earliest atoms, mostly hydrogen and helium, which would later become the building blocks for stars. Clouds of these atoms drifted and clumped together under gravity, sparking the birth of the very first stars. Each star was a tiny furnace, fusing elements together and illuminating the darkness, creating light that would travel billions of years to reach us. Imagine that every atom in your body was once part of those early stars, a connection that stretches across time and space. Did you know that the iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones were forged in the hearts of stars? Billions of years ago, as galaxies formed, they swirled and danced, colliding gently, merging softly in a cosmic ballet. Gravity sculpted the universe like a careful artist, forming spirals, clusters, and vast voids. And while we often feel small, like a single breath in the endless night, the universe itself is built of patterns, cycles, and rhythms that mirror the quiet ebb and flow of life on Earth. Think of it this way. The Big Bang was not the start of chaos, but the beginning of harmony, a slow unfolding of possibilities. Every star, planet, and moment in time began from that singular point, reminding us that even the tiniest sparks can grow into something vast and beautiful. And as you lie here, feeling the calm pull of night, know that you are part of this unfolding story, your body and mind made of stardust, your thoughts and dreams echoes of the universe's gentle expansion. Let this sense of wonder lull you into ease as we drift together through the cosmic past, feeling the universe stretch and breathe with us. And now, as the first stars settle into their places and the galaxies continue their quiet dance, let your mind begin to wander toward the next chapter, where we will explore how these early stars gave birth to the galaxies that light up our night sky. Have you ever wondered what it must have been like when the first stars flickered into existence, emerging from the cosmic darkness like timid lanterns in a vast, empty hall? What was it like for the universe to take its first breaths, to stretch and shimmer with energy that had waited billions of years for a chance to shine? Imagine standing at the edge of time itself, peering into a void so deep it almost swallows your thoughts, yet knowing that within this emptiness, the first sparks of light were quietly preparing to awaken. Picture yourself floating in the middle of this silent expanse, weightless and calm, with the velvet darkness stretching endlessly in every direction. Tiny pockets of gas drift past you, their movements so slow that it seems as if time itself has decided to pause. You watch, mesmerized, as some regions grow denser, glowing faintly as gravity begins its invisible dance, pulling particles together, hinting at the fiery births to come. The universe is both terrifying and comforting in its silence, and in that stillness you feel a profound connection, as if you are witnessing the heartbeat of creation itself. In those early moments, the universe was not uniform. It was a patchwork of subtle differences, regions slightly denser than others, where matter would begin to gather, These tiny variations, almost imperceptible, were the seeds of all structure in the cosmos. Without them, stars and galaxies would never have formed, and the universe would have remained a featureless void. Did you know that these differences in density were left behind by quantum fluctuations from the earliest moments of the Big Bang? Tiny ripples in the very fabric of reality that now dictate the structure of everything we see. As gravity gently coaxed the primordial gases together, the first stars began to ignite, forming in clusters that would one day evolve into galaxies. These stars were unlike any we see today, massive and brilliant, burning so hot and fast that their lives were brief yet extraordinary. They forged elements in their cores, heavier and heavier, until they could create nothing more. And when they reached the end of their lives, they exploded in magnificent supernova, scattering these elements across space, planting the seeds for planets, moons, and eventually life itself. Imagine each explosion as a gentle whisper to the universe, announcing that something new was possible, that creation was not finished, but only just beginning. The suspense of this cosmic dawn is almost tangible, as if the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting to see what will emerge from the darkness. Galaxies begin to swirl into shape, some spinning slowly like dancers in an elegant, endless waltz, while others collide, merge, and twist, creating intricate patterns that we are only beginning to understand. Did you know that even now, billions of years later, some of these early galaxies still exist, shining faintly, their light finally reaching us after an unimaginably long journey across space, connecting you, here and now, to the universe's ancient past? And yet, despite the chaos and energy, there is a rhythm, a subtle pattern underlying the movements of stars and galaxies. It's a rhythm that mirrors the rise and fall of your own breath, the gentle ebb and flow of your heartbeat. Every shimmering star contributes to a cosmic melody that plays softly beneath the noise of everyday life, inviting you to listen, to relax, and to become part of the universe's story. Now, imagine walking along a path of stardust, each step lighting up particles that drift lazily through the darkness. Some glimmer like tiny diamonds, others glow with a faint, golden warmth. Each one tells a story of creation, of immense energy transformed into matter, of potential becoming reality. And you begin to realize that the universe is not something distant or abstract, but a living, breathing entity that pulses in quiet harmony, echoing within you as you breathe, as you relax, as you listen to the calm narrative of the cosmos. Consider for a moment the suspense hidden in these early cosmic events, the fragile balance that allowed galaxies to form, stars to ignite, and eventually planets to emerge. A slight difference in the flow of matter, a small variation in gravity's pull, and the universe could have evolved entirely differently. Perhaps there would have been no galaxies at all, no stars to light the night, no Earth to cradle life. Yet here we are, existing in a universe that survived, thrived, and blossomed into complexity, a universe that invites curiosity, reflection, and wonder. And as you lie there, feeling the calm weight of your body on your bed, the quiet pull of night around you, let the story sink deeper. Let the suspense of cosmic creation mingle with your own sense of awe and comfort. Know that the universe is vast, mysterious, and patient, moving at a pace that exceeds your imagination. Yet, in its vastness, it whispers to you, reassures you, and invites you to drift. Soon, we will move forward into the next chapter of this story, exploring the birth of galaxies in greater detail, their swirling spirals and glowing cores, the way gravity sculpts and shapes the cosmos, and how these magnificent structures eventually gave rise to our own solar system. For now, let your mind float among the first stars. Bask in their soft glow, and let the calm suspense of creation lull you deeper into gentle relaxation. Have you ever wondered how the first galaxies came to be? How the tiny clouds of gas and dust, drifting silently through the vast darkness, could transform into magnificent spirals and glowing clusters of stars? Imagine standing at the edge of this newborn cosmos, feeling the pull of gravity like a gentle tide guiding the dance of matter. It is a scene of patience, tension, and astonishing beauty, as if the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting to see which structures will survive and which will dissolve into the void. Picture yourself floating above one of these early clouds, a swirling mass of hydrogen and helium, glowing faintly with the energy of countless particles colliding. Around you, other clouds drift slowly, some merging, others stretching apart. Their motions are imperceptible to the human eye, yet over millions of years, these gentle movements give rise to stars, star clusters, and eventually galaxies. Each twist and turn is a whispered secret of cosmic creation, a suspenseful prelude to the birth of structures that will last for billions of years. Gravity is the invisible artist at work, pulling particles together, shaping them into ever denser regions, forming the seeds of entire galaxies. Did you know that the first galaxies were far smaller than the majestic spirals we see today, often no more than a few thousand light years across? Yet, inside them burned stars so bright and massive that they outshone anything we experience in our night sky. These early stars, called population 3 stars, were enormous, living fast and dying young, forging the first heavy elements that would one day form planets, water, and even life. Imagine the suspense as these first giants flicker into existence, burning brilliantly before collapsing in violent supernova, scattering their precious elements into the darkness. As these stars lived and died, they seeded the universe with the building blocks for future generations of stars and galaxies. Each explosion sent ripples of energy across space, nudging nearby gas clouds, triggering new star formation, and sculpting the emerging galaxies. Some clouds survived, gathering more mass, forming spiral arms that would twist gracefully for billions of years, while others faded quietly into emptiness, swallowed by the cosmic night. The universe, though vast and silent, is full of these quiet dramas, subtle suspense woven into the very fabric of space. And yet, despite this immense activity, the universe maintained a sense of rhythm, a balance between creation and destruction, between light and darkness. It is a rhythm that mirrors the slow inhale and exhale of your own body, a gentle ebb and flow that invites relaxation, contemplation, and awe. Imagine tracing the path of a single atom, once forged in a distant star, drifting through a galaxy, eventually finding its way into a planet, a living creature, or even yourself. Did you know that the oxygen in your lungs and the carbon in your body were formed in these ancient stellar furnaces billions of years ago, connecting you intimately to the suspenseful, patient unfolding of the cosmos? As galaxies formed, they began to interact with each other, colliding, merging, and twisting in ways that are both violent and beautiful. Imagine two early galaxies approaching, their stars passing by each other without colliding, while their gas clouds merge to spark the birth of thousands of new stars. It is a cosmic dance choreographed over millions of years, full of tension and drama, yet moving with an almost hypnotic grace. The universe seems to whisper secrets of balance, harmony, and inevitability, inviting your mind to slow down and marvel at the patterns emerging from apparent chaos. Consider for a moment the suspense hidden in these early interactions. How the slightest difference in mass, velocity, or position could determine the fate of entire galaxies. Some merged to form massive elliptical galaxies, glowing with the light of billions of stars, while others remained small and delicate, fragile islands in the cosmic sea. The delicate interplay of forces reminds us that even in vast, impersonal space, subtle changes shape destiny, echoing the gentle choices we make in our own lives. Now, imagine drifting through a spiral galaxy, the stars glowing softly, dust lanes stretching like ribbons in the night, each swirl an arm, a testament to patience, balance, and the slow artistry of gravity. You feel both humbled and comforted, knowing that the universe has been sculpting these patterns for billions of years, long before your own existence, and it will continue long after. This understanding brings a quiet awe, a gentle reminder that creation is patient, and that every moment, no matter how small, is part of a larger cosmic story. And as you rest here, allowing your thoughts to drift among these early galaxies, let the suspense of creation mingle with the calm of night. Feel the gentle pull of curiosity, tempered by the soothing rhythm of your own breath. Soon, we will explore the formation of stars in more detail, the processes that turn clouds of gas into shining suns, and how these suns shape the planets and worlds that may eventually cradle life. For now, float in the glow of ancient galaxies, bask in their calm yet suspenseful presence, and let the universe's patient artistry lull you deeper into relaxation. Have you ever wondered how stars themselves are born? How seemingly invisible clouds of gas and dust, floating silently in the vastness of space, can suddenly ignite into brilliant, shining suns? Imagine watching this transformation unfold over millions of years, like watching a slow, majestic symphony gradually crescendo from silence into sound. It is a delicate, suspenseful process, where the smallest imbalance can determine whether a star will shine for billions of years or collapse before it ever ignites. Picture yourself hovering above a massive molecular cloud, darker than the night sky, dotted with faint glimmers where density increases. The gas drifts slowly, almost lazily, yet within it, gravity is at work, pulling particles together, compressing them, concentrating their energy. You watch as small pockets grow denser and warmer, glowing softly with the potential of a future sun. The suspense is palpable, as if the universe itself holds its breath, waiting to see which regions will spark into light. These clouds, known as stellar nurseries, contain mostly hydrogen, the simplest and most abundant element in the universe. Yet within these clouds, the tiniest fluctuations in density can trigger incredible events. Did you know that a single atom out of place, a slight twist of turbulence, can determine whether a star forms or fades into nothingness? The first signs of a newborn star are subtle, a faint glow in the center of a contracting region, almost like the first spark of a candle in a dark room. As the core of the cloud contracts, the temperature rises and pressure builds, until nuclear fusion begins, converting hydrogen into helium and releasing tremendous energy. This is the moment a star is truly born, a delicate balance between gravity, pulling inward, and fusion, pushing outward. It is a cosmic suspense story written in fire and light, as the universe patiently waits to see if this star will stabilize or collapse under its own weight. Many stars are massive and short-lived, burning their fuel in mere millions of years, while others are smaller and patient, destined to shine for billions. Imagine the quiet drama unfolding in each stellar nursery. Countless stars performing their own suspenseful dance, hidden from human eyes, and yet stars do not exist in isolation. They influence everything around them. Their radiation and stellar winds shape the clouds nearby, compressing some regions, dispersing others, triggering new waves of star formation. It is a chain reaction, a subtle dialogue across space, where creation and destruction coexist in perfect balance. Each supernova, each stellar wind is like a whisper or a nudge, guiding the next generation of cosmic architecture. Did you know that many of the elements in your body, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, were formed in the cores of long-dead stars, scattered across the cosmos before becoming part of planets, life, and even you as clusters of stars form? They begin to illuminate their surroundings, creating pockets of light in the previously dark void. Galaxies start to take shape around these stellar nurseries, their glowing arms twisting like ribbons. And the interplay of gravity and energy sculpts magnificent spirals, ellipticals, and irregular forms. The suspense continues here, as small differences in mass, rotation, and interaction determine whether a galaxy thrives, merges, or dissolves. Each galaxy tells a story of survival and balance, a cosmic tale written over billions of years. Picture drifting through one of these newly formed galaxies, the stars glowing softly like lanterns in a silent hall. Dust lanes weave through the spiral arms, hinting at hidden clouds of future stars. You feel the immense scale of time and space, the patience of the universe, yet also the intimacy of connection. Knowing that your body is made of atoms forged in these very stars, that every heartbeat echoes the rhythm of cosmic expansion, the suspense of star formation, the slow unfolding of galaxies, and the quiet inevitability of nuclear fusion all invite your mind to relax, marvel, and drift. Consider the poetic beauty of this process, the calm tension that allows creation to emerge. Stars are born, live, and die, contributing to the vast network of cosmic evolution. They remind us that patience and persistence are universal forces, and that even in apparent chaos, patterns and meaning slowly emerge. As you lie here, feeling the weight of your body on your bed, let the gentle rhythm of stellar birth guide your breath, and allow the suspenseful beauty of creation to lull you deeper into calm. Soon, we will journey further, exploring how stars evolve, how they explode in supernova, and how these cataclysmic events shape the very planets and life that may eventually emerge. For now, float among the stellar nurseries, witness the suspenseful birth of suns, and feel the quiet, patient artistry of the universe carrying you gently toward rest. Have you ever wondered what happens when a star reaches the end of its life? How the quiet brilliance of a sun can suddenly turn into one of the most dramatic events in the universe. Imagine a massive star burning for millions of years, quietly fusing hydrogen into helium, then helium into heavier elements, and suddenly everything changes. There is a suspenseful tension in the cosmos, a moment when balance tips, and the calm glow of life becomes a spectacular display of energy. Picture yourself floating far above such a star, observing its final moments, the layers of gas swirling around its core, glowing dimly with the heat of nuclear fusion. Deep inside, the core grows denser and hotter, pressure mounting like water building behind a dam. Every second is a countdown, invisible yet monumental, waiting for the instant when the forces within the star can no longer be contained. It is a scene of quiet suspense, a cosmic cliffhanger that unfolds over thousands of years. Yet, in the universe's timeline, it is almost instantaneous. When the core can no longer resist gravity, the star collapses inward in a heartbeat of cosmic time, and then explodes outward in a supernova, releasing more energy in that single moment than the sun will emit in its entire lifetime. Did you know that these explosions create elements heavier than iron, like gold and uranium, scattering them across space, seeding future stars, planets, and even life itself? It is a violent, breathtaking process. Yet it is also profoundly poetic, for in destruction lies creation, in endings, new beginnings. The suspense of a supernova is mirrored in the subtle beauty that follows, as shockwaves ripple through nearby gas clouds, compressing them, nudging them into forming new stars. These waves sculpt the interstellar medium into intricate filaments and bubbles, creating environments where the next generation of suns and planets can emerge. Imagine the delicate balance, the cosmic choreography, where even an explosion can be gentle in its purpose, a whisper to the universe saying, "Create again, persist, endure." As we drift among these remnants, you notice the delicate glow of nebulae, vast clouds of gas and dust illuminated by the dying star's energy. Some stretch for hundreds of light years, glowing in shades of red, pink, and gold, forming shapes that seem almost intentional, like brushstrokes on a canvas too vast for human comprehension. And within these nebulae, new stars begin to form, continuing the suspenseful cycle of birth, life, and death, a rhythm that mirrors the gentle rise and fall of your own breath. Consider the poetic reflection here, that the very atoms in your body, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, were forged in stars that ended their lives in dramatic explosions. Each heartbeat, each thought, each quiet moment of wonder is connected to these ancient cosmic events. You are literally made of stardust, part of a universe that has been creating, destroying, and recreating for billions of years. It is both humbling and comforting, a reminder that even in vast emptiness, connection and purpose exist. As galaxies continue to evolve, supernova ripple outward, influencing star formation across vast distances. Some galaxies collide and merge, stars flaring briefly in gravitational dances, while others rotate gently, serene in their motion. The suspense is everywhere, the balance delicate, yet the universe persists, continuing to unfold its story in quiet, patient magnificence. Did you know that some of the galaxies we see today still contain stars formed in the very first billion years after the Big Bang? Light from those stars traveling across billions of light years to reach us, carrying whispers of cosmic history. Picture drifting through such a galaxy. The remnants of ancient supernova glowing faintly, new stars forming silently, planets beginning to coalesce. Each moment is a reminder of the fragile, suspenseful, and beautiful process of creation. The universe seems to invite you into its rhythm, whispering patience, awe, and calm. Your thoughts begin to slow, your body sinks deeper into comfort, and your mind floats among these stars, bathed in gentle light and quiet suspense. Soon, we will explore how these stars and galaxies set the stage for planets, water, and ultimately life, tracing the path from cosmic explosions to the building blocks of everything we know. For now, float in the glow of supernova. Feel the suspense of stellar life and death, and let the calm, rhythmic pulse of creation lull you into gentle relaxation. Have you ever wondered how planets are born? How the chaos of a newly formed galaxy gives rise to quiet, solid worlds slowly spinning in the calm of space. Imagine clouds of gas and dust, stirred by the gravity of nearby stars, colliding and clumping together, each tiny particle a whisper of potential, waiting for time and gravity to shape it into something more. It is a slow, suspenseful process, where even the smallest change can determine whether a planet becomes barren, fertile, or entirely unrecognizable. Picture yourself drifting above one of these vast protoplanetary disks, a flat, glowing cloud of gas and dust surrounding a newborn star. The edges shimmer softly with reflected light, while the dense central regions glow brighter as gravity pulls particles inward. Slowly, these particles begin to collide, sticking together like tiny building blocks, forming larger and larger clumps, until small rocky bodies, called planetesimals, emerge. It is a gentle yet suspenseful choreography, where each collision carries the potential to either create. Over millions of years, these planetesimals continue to merge, some forming rocky inner planets, others gathering gas to become massive giants. Did you know that Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, may have prevented countless collisions by its sheer gravity, shepherding asteroids and debris, acting as a cosmic guardian? Imagine the suspense as these early worlds compete for mass, nudged by gravity, colliding, merging, or being flung into the void. Each movement, each chance encounter, could change the fate of an entire planetary system. As these planets form, they begin to take shape, developing layers of rock, metal, and gas, slowly cooling, differentiating into cores, mantles, and crusts. Volcanic activity, impacts, and chemical reactions shape the surfaces, forming mountains, valleys, oceans, and atmospheres. The universe seems to whisper as it works patiently, carefully, every detail, a note in a symphony of creation. You can almost feel the suspense as molten worlds solidify, fragile and raw, yet full of potential, ready to host life or simply orbit silently for eons. And yet, the story of planets is not solitary. It is intertwined with the life of their star, their galaxy, and even neighboring worlds. A slight tilt in orbit, a close encounter with a wandering body, or a shift in the star's output could dramatically alter a planet's fate. Some are scorched by their sun, others frozen in shadow, while a fortunate few find the delicate balance that allows oceans to exist, life to emerge, and complexity to flourish. Did you know that Earth may owe its habitability to a rare combination of factors, including the stabilizing influence of the Moon and the protective gravity of Jupiter? Picture floating over a newly formed Earth-like planet, the sun casting soft light over molten continents, slowly solidifying into landmasses, oceans pooling in the lowest valleys, clouds forming in the early atmosphere. The suspense of creation is almost tangible as chemical reactions begin to set the stage for life. Amino acids and simple molecules forming in hidden pockets, whispering hints of the complexity yet to come. You feel both awe and calm, connected to this ancient process that unfolded billions of years before your existence. The poetic reflection here is profound, that even in the midst of violent collisions, molten chaos, and drifting debris, the universe nurtures possibility, patience, and balance. Planets, like life itself, emerge slowly from uncertainty, shaped by countless subtle forces, reminding us that creation is both fragile and resilient, that the very earth beneath your body, the air you breathe, and the water flowing within you were once part of this suspenseful cosmic process, born from collisions, gravity, and time. And as you lie there, feeling your body relax into the night, let your mind drift among these early worlds, imagining the suspenseful collisions, molten rivers, and growing atmospheres. Feel the gentle rhythm of creation mirroring your own breathing, a slow, deliberate, comforting pulse. The universe invites you to witness patience, possibility, and quiet transformation. Soon, we will move on to explore how these early planets cool further, how water and organic molecules emerge, and how the stage is set for the first signs of life. For now, float above these forming worlds, bask in the gentle suspense of planetary creation, and let the universe's quiet patience lull you deeper into calm and rest. Have you ever wondered how the first water appeared on planets? How this simple molecule, so essential for life, emerged from the chaos of forming worlds? Imagine the suspense of countless collisions, volcanic eruptions, and drifting comets delivering tiny but precious droplets, each one a whisper of potential, slowly assembling oceans, rivers, and lakes over millions of years. The universe is patient yet deliberate, shaping conditions where life may one day emerge. Picture yourself hovering above a young Earth, molten continents cooling beneath a faint sun, clouds of steam rising from volcanic vents, and ice forming in shadowed regions. Tiny droplets of water, delivered by asteroids and comets, collide with the crust, pooling in lowlands and carving channels, slowly creating rivers and oceans. The suspense is palpable, as each addition of water alters the planet's chemistry and temperature, nudging the world closer to a delicate balance where life might one day take hold. Within these early oceans, chemistry begins its subtle work. Molecules interacting in quiet complexity, forming amino acids and other building blocks of life. These chemical reactions are both fragile and profound, sensitive to temperature, pressure, and the faint energy of sunlight and lightning. Imagine each molecule as a tiny dancer, performing intricate steps that may, over billions of years, lead to the choreography of life itself. Did you know that some of the earliest amino acids may have originated not only on Earth but also arrived from meteorites? Riding across space, the suspense deepens as we consider how conditions must be just right for life to begin. Too much heat or cold, too little water, or an unstable atmosphere, and the process halts. Paused by the tiniest imbalance, the early atmosphere, rich in carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and traces of other gases, acts like a protective cocoon, shielding these emerging oceans from harsh solar winds, allowing chemistry to unfold slowly, patiently, in the hidden corners of the young world. Imagine drifting through this ancient ocean, feeling the gentle motion of water, the soft currents created by tides and the rotation of the planet. Deep below, minerals dissolve from rocks, creating environments rich in chemical diversity. Some areas glowing faintly with the warmth of geothermal vents. A subtle suspense fills the scene, as you realize that every swirl, every interaction, could influence which molecules survive, combine, or dissolve. Each step a tiny chance leading toward the mystery of life. And yet, even in this delicate balance, randomness plays a crucial role. Collisions of asteroids and comets occasionally reset chemical progress. Storms redistribute elements, and volcanoes release new gases. The universe seems to whisper that creation is never linear, that patience, persistence, and chance are intertwined. Did you know that without these random events, certain elements might never mix, and the first hints of life could have been delayed for billions more years? Picture tiny pools of water on a cooling surface, illuminated by the soft glow of sunlight filtering through clouds. Complex molecules dance, form bonds, and break apart, repeating over and over a slow, suspenseful symphony of chemistry. Some droplets may harbor simple proteins, others nucleic acids, each a potential spark of life. Your mind can imagine the suspense of these early stages, the quiet anticipation of molecules aligning just so, the universe holding its breath, waiting for the first whisper of consciousness. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, how life, so intricate and delicate, is the product of patience, chaos, and cosmic generosity. Oceans form slowly, molecules combine, and the stage is gradually set for the first living organisms. This suspenseful unfolding mirrors the way we live our lives, step by step, choice by choice, with small events cascading into profound consequences. There is comfort in knowing that even in immense time and space, patience and persistence can lead to creation. And as you lie here, sinking deeper into your bed, let your mind float among these early oceans, drift with the currents of possibility, and feel the suspense of chemical interactions. Imagine the tiny molecules slowly combining, hinting at the emergence of life, each one a quiet reminder of the universe's patience, elegance, and subtle suspense. The rhythm of creation mirrors your own breathing, a gentle ebb and flow, carrying you closer to rest. Soon, we will move forward to explore how these molecules may have sparked the first simple life forms, how cells emerged, and how the suspenseful dance of evolution began in these fragile oceans. For now, float in the calm, mysterious waters, feel the gentle suspense of molecular creation, and let the universe's quiet patience lull you deeper into sleep. Have you ever wondered how life began from mere molecules? How the quiet chemistry of early oceans gave rise to the first flickers of living systems? Imagine the suspense as countless molecules interact, combining and breaking apart, forming structures that are almost alive, yet not quite. Suspense hangs in the air as the universe orchestrates an intricate dance, patiently nudging some molecules toward stability and function, while letting others dissolve into nothingness. Picture yourself drifting over a shallow, warm ocean on early Earth, sunlight glinting off tiny ripples, currents moving gently across mineral-rich surfaces. Tiny molecules gather into clusters, forming lipid bubbles, amino acids lining up to create chains, and simple nucleic acids flickering into existence. Each interaction is delicate, a subtle balance between formation and dissolution, failure and persistence. It is a suspenseful scene, almost invisible, yet monumental in its implications, the first whispers of life waiting to emerge. Within these molecular pools, RNA molecules may have formed, capable of copying themselves and catalyzing reactions. Did you know that RNA could have acted as both information storage and enzyme? A dual role critical for the origin of life. Imagine the suspense as these molecules compete for space and resources, some persisting long enough to replicate, others dissolving, the universe quietly sorting the potential from the fleeting. Each successful replication is a small victory, a spark in the dark, hinting at the complexity yet to come. As lipid membranes form around these molecular clusters, primitive protocells emerge, tiny capsules, floating, drifting, colliding, merging, and sometimes dissolving. These protocells are fragile, suspenseful structures, dependent on their environment, yet within them lies the blueprint for all future organisms. The universe seems to whisper, persist, endure, evolve, as these early life forms experiment with survival in a vast, uncertain world. Did you know that some of the first life may have thrived near hydrothermal vents, where heat, minerals, and chemical gradients provided ideal conditions for protocells to form and grow? Imagine a single protocell drifting in the ocean, its membrane flickering in the light, RNA inside copying itself slowly, catalyzing reactions, preparing for the next step in the grand dance of life. The suspense is palpable, as every collision, every fluctuation in temperature or chemical concentration could determine whether it survives or perishes. These tiny successes and failures ripple forward, influencing evolution over millions of years. Each protocell that persists carries within it the potential for complexity, adaptation, and life. And yet, life is not just a matter of molecules. It is also shaped by its environment, by the sun, tides, and geology of its planet. Volcanoes release minerals, comets deliver new compounds, and tidal pools concentrate essential molecules, creating pockets of opportunity. Imagine the suspense as these environments shift, testing each protocell's resilience. As life slowly learns to adapt, thrive, and persist, it is a quiet, invisible drama playing out across the early Earth, full of suspense, patience, and subtle wonder. Consider the poetic reflection of this process. How the first life was born, not in a single dramatic event, but through countless small interactions, persistent trial and error, and the quiet guidance of cosmic forces. Life is fragile, yet resilient, emerging from chaos, molded by chance and necessity. Each molecule, each protocell, represents the universe experimenting, slowly crafting something extraordinary from simple beginnings. You are, in a sense, the product of these tiny, suspenseful successes, a living testament to patience, persistence, and possibility as you lie here, sinking deeper into the comfort of your bed. Let your mind drift among these early oceans and protocells. Imagine the delicate dance of molecules, the suspenseful emergence of life, the quiet victories that laid the groundwork for everything we know. Your breath mirrors the rhythm of these early interactions, calm, steady, and soothing, allowing the universe's patience and gentle suspense to lull you closer to sleep. Soon, we will explore how these early protocells evolved into more complex organisms, how single-celled life diversified, and how the stage was set for the incredible variety of life that would eventually populate the Earth. For now, float among these first sparks of life. Feel the suspense of creation, and let the universe's quiet patience guide you deeper into rest. Have you ever wondered how single-celled life began to explore its world? How the tiniest organisms slowly transformed a quiet, empty planet into a living, breathing system? Imagine these microscopic pioneers drifting in oceans, each cell a self-contained universe, sensing its surroundings, capturing energy, and multiplying with quiet patience. The suspense is subtle but immense. For each success and failure echoes through time, shaping the future of life itself. Picture yourself shrinking down to the size of a single cell, floating through a warm primordial ocean, feeling gentle currents and soft pulses of energy. Tiny single-celled organisms drift past, some clinging to particles, others moving purposefully with simple flagella, sensing gradients in chemicals and light. Their interactions are small but significant, subtle dances of competition, cooperation, and survival. Every collision and adaptation carries suspense, as the tiniest change may determine life's persistence or disappearance. In these early oceans, photosynthetic bacteria emerge, quietly capturing sunlight and converting it into energy. Did you know that these microscopic organisms slowly began to fill the atmosphere with oxygen, a gas that would eventually transform the entire planet, creating new opportunities and dangers for life? The suspense is almost tangible. As oxygen initially poisoned many existing cells, yet over time, it became the foundation for more complex organisms, illustrating the delicate balance between catastrophe and possibility. Imagine floating above a microbial mat, a bustling city of single-celled life, cells exchanging nutrients, sharing chemical signals, competing for resources. Each tiny interaction carries suspense, as small adaptations may allow some organisms to thrive while others fade away. Life is experimenting, evolving, and responding to the environment with patience and quiet determination. You can almost sense the tension, the slow rhythm of survival, adaptation, and chemical negotiation shaping the course of evolution. As these organisms diversify, they begin to form simple ecosystems, communities of cells interacting in balance. Some live in colonies, others remain solitary, yet all contribute to the slow transformation of the planet, altering chemical cycles, stabilizing environments, and creating niches for future complexity. The suspense continues. As environmental shifts, volcanic activity, and asteroid impacts challenge these early communities, forcing adaptation or extinction. Every event, a quiet drama in the ocean's depths. Consider the poetic beauty of this process, how complexity emerges from simplicity, patience and persistence shaping life through tiny incremental changes. These single-celled organisms, invisible to the naked eye, are laying the foundation for every creature that will ever exist. Each adaptation, each evolutionary experiment, echoes through billions of years, culminating in the vast diversity of life that surrounds us today. The suspense of early life is a reminder that creation is both fragile and resilient, delicate yet persistent. Imagine drifting along with cyanobacteria as they form stromatolites, layered structures growing slowly over centuries, capturing sunlight, oxygenating the oceans, and whispering hints of future ecosystems. The suspense is subtle but profound, as each layer reflects countless tiny successes, adaptations, and responses to the environment, building the stage for multicellular life. And eventually, everything we see around us, you feel both awe and calm, connected to these ancient, patient processes. As oxygen fills the atmosphere, known as the Great Oxidation Event, the planet transforms, a suspenseful turning point in Earth's history. Many organisms struggle with the change, while others flourish, using oxygen to power more complex metabolic processes. This slow, patient drama unfolds across millions of years. As life adapts, survives, and lays the groundwork for multicellularity, for the rise of complexity, and for the story that eventually leads to plants, animals, and humans. And as you lie here, feeling your body relax and your breath deepen, let your mind float among these early oceans, the microbial communities, and the suspenseful unfolding of life. Imagine the tiny cells drifting, dividing, adapting, and gradually transforming a quiet planet into a living, dynamic world. The rhythm of their slow, patient evolution mirrors your own gentle breathing, allowing curiosity, wonder, and calm to merge into relaxation. Soon, we will explore how multicellular life emerged, how early organisms coordinated, specialized, and began forming tissues, organs, and ecosystems, setting the stage for the incredible diversity of life to come. For now, drift among the first ecosystems, feel the suspenseful tension of early life, and let the patient, persistent rhythm of evolution guide you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how single-celled life slowly evolved into multicellular organisms? How tiny, independent cells began cooperating, coordinating, and specializing to create something far greater than themselves. Imagine the suspense as countless cells clung together, signaling, sharing nutrients, and slowly learning to work as a unit. Every success and failure echoes through time, shaping the foundation for plants, animals, and every living creature that would follow. Picture yourself shrinking down to the microscopic level, drifting among clusters of early multicellular organisms, each one a fragile assembly of cells, some clinging to surfaces, others floating freely in the oceans. The interactions are subtle, almost imperceptible, yet profound, as cells divide, communicate, and differentiate. Each tiny adaptation carries suspense, for the slightest change in cooperation or timing could determine survival or dissolution. The universe watches patiently as life experiments with new forms and functions. In these early oceans, colonies of cells began to specialize, some forming protective layers, others capturing nutrients more efficiently. Did you know that these early divisions of labor among cells laid the groundwork for tissues, organs, and eventually entire organisms? The suspense is tangible as each colony faces environmental pressures, predators, and competition, testing the limits of cooperation, forcing innovation, and shaping evolutionary pathways. Each small victory adds another layer to the complex web of life. Imagine drifting over a soft mat of early multicellular organisms, their translucent bodies moving gently with the currents, some undulating to capture light or nutrients, others forming protective clusters. It is a quiet, suspenseful scene where each movement carries consequences. Each interaction, each adaptation nudges evolution forward, slowly building complexity and resilience. The rhythm of these early communities mirrors the gentle rise and fall of your own breath, a soothing reminder of patience and persistence. As multicellular life flourished, organisms experimented with shapes and sizes, some elongating, others flattening, each adjustment carrying the suspense of survival. The oceans became filled with diverse forms, from simple blobs to more intricate organisms with primitive appendages. This experimentation laid the groundwork for sensory structures, movement, and coordinated responses to the environment. Did you know that some of the earliest multicellular life forms, such as sponges and cnidarians, still exist today? Their simple yet effective designs echoing billions of years of evolutionary experimentation. Picture drifting through a shallow prehistoric ocean, sunlight filtering through the water, illuminating soft-bodied organisms gliding gracefully, some predatory, others passive. Each day is filled with quiet suspense, every interaction shaping the ecosystem. The rise of multicellularity is a suspenseful story, not a single event, but a series of patient, persistent innovations where survival depends on cooperation, adaptation, and timing. Every successful colony, every functional specialization is a step toward complexity, a step toward life as we know it. The poetic reflection here is profound, that life's complexity is born from patience, collaboration, and resilience, that the creatures drifting in these ancient oceans are the ancestors of all animals, each one a small, suspenseful triumph of evolution. As you lie here, allow your mind to drift among these early multicellular organisms. Feel the suspense of their interactions, the slow unfolding of complexity, and the patient rhythm of creation. Each tiny adaptation mirrors the quiet persistence of life itself. And yet, life is not static, even in these early oceans. Environmental changes, chemical shifts, and random perturbations continuously test the resilience of multicellular communities. Some colonies flourish, others perish, the balanced delicate. The suspense is quiet but profound, a reminder that creation is a dance between chance and persistence, where each organism, each adaptation, contributes to the grand narrative of evolution. Imagine the first predatory behaviors emerging, cells developing rudimentary mechanisms to capture food, move, or protect themselves. The tension is subtle but immense, as these early forms of competition and cooperation shape ecosystems, creating pockets of innovation that will eventually allow the rise of more complex animals. Every ripple, every motion is part of a suspenseful story, billions of years in the making, inviting you to witness patience, persistence, and creativity in the quiet rhythm of early life. Soon, we will explore the rise of the first complex animals, the development of sensory structures, movement, and the suspenseful unfolding of ecosystems that eventually led to the incredible diversity of life on Earth. For now, float among these early multicellular organisms. Feel the suspense of cooperation and adaptation, and let the patient rhythm of evolution carry you deeper into calm and rest. Have you ever wondered how the first complex animals began to explore the oceans? How life evolved from slow, soft-bodied organisms into creatures capable of sensing, moving, and interacting with their environment? Imagine drifting through the warm, shallow seas of the ancient Earth, where every ripple and current carries the suspense of survival. Each organism, tiny and translucent, is quietly experimenting with new ways to sense light, detect motion, and capture food. Picture yourself floating above a coral-like mat of early animals, some resembling sponges, others simple jellyfish-like forms, drifting with the currents. Their movements are subtle but deliberate, responding to environmental cues, chemical gradients, and faint vibrations. The suspense is tangible, as every successful adaptation could mean survival, while failure might result in dissolution or absorption into the ocean. Life experiments cautiously, patiently, as if the universe itself is teaching it the rules of complexity. Within these ancient seas, early nervous systems begin to emerge, clusters of cells coordinating movement, sensing light, and reacting to stimuli. Did you know that the first neurons allowed animals to detect predators and prey, giving them an edge in the slow but suspenseful evolutionary race? Imagine the thrill of discovery as these first networks form, tiny sparks of activity transmitting information across cells, shaping behavior, and allowing early animals to explore their environment in ways they never could before. As sensory structures develop, eyes begin to take shape, primitive lenses detecting light and shadow, guiding movement and interaction. The suspense is delicate yet profound, as these early animals respond to predators, currents, and opportunities for feeding. Each sensory advancement adds to survival, shaping ecosystems and nudging evolution forward. Picture drifting along a shallow reef, soft-bodied organisms sensing light, coordinating with neighbors, some moving toward food, others avoiding danger. The rhythm of these interactions is slow, hypnotic, yet full of quiet suspense. The oceans themselves participate in this evolutionary drama. Tides, currents, and waves shaping habitats, distributing nutrients, and challenging organisms to adapt. Each environmental shift carries suspense, a test of resilience and flexibility. Did you know that these early interactions between animals and their habitats set the stage for predator-prey dynamics that would dominate for millions of years? The tension between survival and adaptation is subtle, woven into the very fabric of early ecosystems. Imagine a tiny organism detecting the shadow of a predator, contracting or drifting away, while another moves toward a cluster of nutrients. Each motion, each response, is part of a suspenseful evolutionary narrative. The delicate interplay of chance, adaptation, and environmental pressure. These small acts of survival echo through time, shaping lineages, species, and eventually the incredible diversity of life that will come. The poetic rhythm of early life mirrors your own breathing, a gentle pulse of awareness, anticipation, and calm. As multicellular animals continue to evolve, they develop specialized structures for feeding, movement, and reproduction. Each new adaptation carries suspense, as evolutionary experiments are tested by the environment. Some thriving, others fading. The early oceans become theaters of quiet drama, filled with subtle competition, cooperation, and innovation. Imagine the suspense as organisms experiment with appendages, sensory organs, and feeding mechanisms. Each tiny step a story of persistence, patience, and ingenuity. Consider the poetic reflection of this process. How complexity emerges not from sudden leaps, but from patient, incremental changes. Each organism, each adaptation, is a whisper of the universe's creativity, shaping life in quiet, suspenseful ways. You are connected to this process, as your own body and senses are the descendants of these early experiments in movement, perception, and survival. The slow unfolding of life mirrors the slow, patient rhythm of the universe, inviting you to relax and drift. Imagine floating over an ancient coral reef teeming with early animals, sensory networks pulsing, movements coordinated, interactions subtle yet profound. Each ripple of activity carries suspense, each adaptation a tiny triumph. The interplay between organisms and their environment is hypnotic, a gentle yet suspenseful reminder of the delicate balance required for life to thrive. As you feel your own body sink deeper into comfort, let your mind drift with these early animals, sensing their rhythms, their suspenseful experiments, and their patient persistence. Soon, we will explore how these early animals gave rise to more complex forms, the development of nervous systems, predatory behaviors, and the suspenseful unfolding of early ecosystems. For now, float among the first complex animals, feel the tension and patience of evolution, and let the universe's quiet, deliberate rhythm guide you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how the first predators changed life on Earth? How the emergence of hunting and mobility transformed quiet oceans into theaters of suspense? Imagine the first creatures sensing movement, extending primitive appendages, and capturing prey. Each interaction a delicate test of survival. The oceans are filled with quiet tension, every shadow and ripple carrying suspense. as life experiments with speed, strategy, and coordination. Picture yourself shrinking down to the size of the earliest mobile animals, drifting alongside them as they glide, creep, or undulate through shallow waters. Some move slowly, barely disturbing the currents, while others sense the faint vibrations of nearby organisms, detecting potential food or danger. The suspense is subtle yet profound, for each movement could determine life or death, success or failure, evolution or extinction. In these early ecosystems, arms, tentacles, and other primitive appendages begin to appear, enabling animals to capture food, anchor themselves, or explore their surroundings. Did you know that the evolution of simple sensory and motor systems allowed animals to interact in entirely new ways, creating predator-prey dynamics that would shape ecosystems for millions of years? Imagine the quiet suspense as these first hunters and their prey negotiate survival, a slow, patient dance of life and death. Picture drifting over a shallow reef, early animals gliding among algae and microbial mats, some extending tiny arms to capture drifting particles, others sensing shadows and currents, ready to retreat or strike. Every action carries suspense, every subtle movement an experiment in evolution. The rhythm of these interactions is gentle yet captivating, a hypnotic story of survival, innovation, and adaptation unfolding over millions of years. As predators emerge, prey species adapt, developing protective coverings, spines, shells, or rapid movements. The suspense is continuous, a slow, tension-filled narrative where every adaptation may ensure survival or lead to extinction. Imagine the oceans as a quiet stage where evolutionary innovations are tested with patience, persistence, and gentle suspense. Each ripple of water, each collision is a small yet monumental story of life learning to survive. The poetic reflection here is striking that tension, challenge, and competition are fundamental to growth and evolution, that the delicate balance between predator and prey drives innovation, complexity, and resilience. You can imagine the slow unfolding of ecosystems, the first hints of structure, hierarchy, and interdependence emerging in the oceans. These early dramas echo through time, laying the groundwork for the incredible diversity of life that will follow. Picture tiny eyes and sensory organs forming on early predators, allowing them to detect light, motion, and chemical signals, while prey develops camouflage, rapid reflexes, and defensive behaviors. The suspense is both quiet and immense, a tug-of-war between survival strategies and opportunity. Each interaction, each adaptation, shapes the trajectory of evolution, influencing which lineages thrive and which vanish. As these early mobile animals continue to explore and exploit their environments, ecosystems begin to take shape, from shallow reef systems to deeper oceanic zones. Each layer of complexity adds suspense, as survival depends on strategy, cooperation, and adaptation. Did you know that this early mobility and predation set the stage for the Cambrian explosion, a period of rapid diversification where most major animal groups emerged? Imagine the suspenseful tension building over millions of years, quietly shaping the world beneath the waves. Floating among these ancient ecosystems, you witness the first intricate dances of life, predators hunting, prey evading, communities forming and dissolving. The slow rhythm of these interactions is mesmerizing, a gentle, suspenseful reminder of patience, adaptation, and resilience. Each movement carries weight. Each interaction echoes through time, and the oceans hum with quiet, calculated suspense as you lie here, sinking deeper into the comfort of your bed. Allow your mind to drift among these early oceans, sensing the suspense of predation, the quiet rhythm of mobility, and the patient unfolding of ecosystems. Imagine the gentle pulse of life, each organism moving with purpose, learning, adapting, and surviving. The calm, deliberate rhythm of evolution mirrors your own breath, carrying you closer to rest. Soon, we will explore how the rise of complex ecosystems, predator-prey interactions, and environmental pressures shaped early animal diversity, laying the stage for reefs, forests, and eventually, terrestrial life. For now, float among these first mobile animals. Feel the suspenseful tension of survival and adaptation, and let the universe's patient, deliberate rhythm guide you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how the first complex ecosystems began to take shape? How life evolved from scattered organisms into intricate networks of interaction? Imagine the suspense as countless creatures, predators and prey, algae and microbes, drift and cling, compete and cooperate, shaping the oceans in subtle yet profound ways. Every ripple and current carries potential. Every collision, a tiny drama in the unfolding story of life. Picture yourself floating above a shallow, sunlit reef. Early, multicellular organisms forming colonies, drifting past coral-like structures, waving appendages, and clusters of tiny predators and scavengers. The scene is alive, yet calm, each interaction carrying quiet suspense. As organisms explore niches, adapt to currents, and respond to one another, the oceans become living tapestries, each thread of life interwoven with others, delicate and resilient within these early ecosystems. Predator-prey dynamics intensify, prompting innovation, adaptation, and the emergence of new strategies. Did you know that some early reef systems were dominated by filter feeders and grazers, creating balance and fostering biodiversity? Imagine the suspense as organisms evolve shells, spines, mobility, and sensory organs, each advancement subtly tipping the scales of survival. The universe quietly tests persistence, patience, and ingenuity. Picture drifting among early reef formations, soft-bodied creatures floating gently while others cling, hide, or glide with purpose. Tiny eyes detect shadows, flagella and appendages twitch in response, and chemical signals flow invisibly between organisms. Each subtle action is suspenseful, for success ensures survival, failure leads to extinction. Yet the oceans remain patient, allowing life to explore possibilities over millions of years. As species diversify, ecological niches expand, competition and cooperation create layered food webs, and ecosystems begin to exhibit structure. The suspense is immense yet quiet, as small evolutionary advantages ripple through the system, influencing which species thrive. Did you know that these early interactions set the stage for symbiosis, mutualism, and predation that persist in modern ecosystems? Imagine the patient tension of life experimenting with balance and interaction, floating over a reef, alive with early experimentation. You see the first grazers nibbling algae, small predators chasing drifting plankton, and scavengers cleaning the ocean floor. Each movement, each encounter carries suspense, as survival and adaptation hinge on timing, efficiency, and strategy. The oceans are alive with subtle dramas, invisible to the eye yet monumental in consequence. The rhythm of life mirrors gentle breathing, soothing yet intellectually engaging. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that ecosystems emerge not by chance alone, but through quiet persistence, experimentation, and the interplay of countless individuals. Each organism, from predator to microbe, contributes to the suspenseful unfolding of life, creating diversity, resilience, and beauty. You are connected to this process, as every ecosystem on Earth today traces its roots back to these ancient experiments in survival and cooperation. Imagine the first reefs growing slowly, built by colonies of organisms, capturing sediment, stabilizing habitats, and creating shelters for other species. The suspense is gentle yet profound, as each reef acts as both protector and stage, shaping interactions, survival, and evolution. Environmental changes, currents, and subtle shifts test the resilience of these early ecosystems. Each success a quiet triumph, each failure a lesson in persistence. As more complex interactions arise, food webs deepen, energy flows between species, and organisms learn to exploit niches in novel ways. The suspense is continuous, a patient tension that drives innovation, adaptation, and diversification. Did you know that the rise of reefs and complex ecosystems directly influenced the Cambrian explosion, a period of rapid evolutionary experimentation and diversification? Imagine floating among these ancient structures, feeling the quiet anticipation of life, experimenting, adapting, and thriving. And as you lie here, sinking deeper into comfort, let your mind drift over these early reefs and ecosystems. Sense the suspenseful interactions of predators, prey, and symbionts, and feel the gentle rhythm of complexity building. The universe whispers patience and persistence, reminding you that creation is slow, deliberate, and profoundly beautiful. Each ripple, each movement, is a small yet significant thread in the tapestry of life. Soon, we will explore how life begins to transition from the oceans to land, how early plants, arthropods, and amphibians create suspenseful bridges between water and earth. For now, float among these first complex ecosystems, feel the quiet suspense of life interacting, and let the patient rhythm of evolution lull you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how life first ventured out of the oceans and onto land? How the quiet, watery world gave way to the suspenseful challenge of soil, air, and sunlight? Imagine tiny organisms inching toward the shoreline, spores drifting, early plants taking hold, and primitive arthropods exploring the unknown. Every moment carries suspense, for survival depends on adaptation to new pressures, hazards, and opportunities. Picture yourself drifting along a tidal flat where water meets land, observing moss-like plants spreading across rocks, and tiny arthropods creeping from the shallows onto firm ground. The environment is both inviting and treacherous, with drying soil, ultraviolet sunlight, and predators lurking. Each step onto land is a suspenseful leap, as organisms experiment with structures for support, moisture retention, and locomotion. Life cautiously extends its reach beyond the oceans. Within these early terrestrial ecosystems, plants evolve vascular tissues, roots, and leaves, slowly stabilizing soil and creating habitats. Did you know that early mosses and ferns acted as pioneers, preparing the land for more complex plants and the creatures that would follow? Imagine the suspense as each plant spreads, competing for light, water, and space. Their slow expansion transforming barren landscapes into fragile, green networks. The universe quietly guides this patient colonization, balancing risk and reward. Picture tiny arthropods, perhaps early millipedes or primitive insects, exploring these new surfaces, moving cautiously over soil and moss, their bodies adapting to desiccation, respiration, and gravity. Every encounter with a predator, sudden gust of wind, or patch of dry soil carries suspense, testing their resilience and adaptability. The quiet rhythm of exploration mirrors the slow evolution of body structures, breathing systems, and sensory organs. As plants continue to expand, ecosystems begin to form. With soil stabilization, nutrient cycling, and microhabitats emerging, the suspense deepens. As success relies on cooperation between plants, fungi, and arthropods, forming networks that support further colonization. Did you know that mycorrhizal fungi formed symbiotic relationships with early plants, enhancing nutrient uptake and enabling life to thrive on land? Imagine the delicate tension as each organism contributes to a fragile web of survival. Floating over a primordial forest of ferns and mosses, you can see early arthropods moving cautiously among leaves, seeking shelter, food, or mates. Some glide, others crawl, each action carrying suspense, for the smallest misstep could be fatal. The interplay between mobility, sensory perception, and environmental awareness is hypnotic, a quiet yet suspenseful ballet of adaptation and persistence. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that life's colonization of land is a story of curiosity, patience, and courage, each organism testing the limits of possibility, shaping the planet's surface, altering the atmosphere, and creating opportunities for future life. You are connected to this process, as your own existence rests upon the patient experimentation of plants, fungi, and arthropods millions of years ago. Each slow expansion, each delicate adaptation, echoes through time. Picture early riversides and coastal plains, where plants trap soil and moisture, arthropods hunt and scavenge, and spores drift on the wind. The suspense is subtle but immense, for every adaptation determines survival and influences the development of terrestrial ecosystems. Each ripple of life is a quiet drama, unfolding with patience and precision. As evolution experiments with support structures, water retention, and locomotion, as life continues to explore the land, ecosystems grow more complex, energy flows between species, and survival strategies diversify. The suspense is continuous, a gentle tension that drives innovation, adaptation, and diversification. Did you know that these early colonizers also began altering the atmosphere, producing oxygen and stabilizing climate conditions, creating the stage for larger plants, vertebrates, and eventually terrestrial animals? Imagine floating among these landscapes, sensing the quiet suspense of exploration, adaptation, and survival. And as you lie here, sinking deeper into comfort, let your mind drift over these early terrestrial worlds, feeling the suspense of first steps, first roots, and first movements on land. Imagine the quiet courage of early plants, arthropods, and fungi as they explored the unknown. The rhythm of life mirrors your own gentle breathing, a slow, deliberate pulse-carrying curiosity, wonder, and calm. Soon, we will explore how these terrestrial ecosystems became richer, how vertebrates emerged, and how suspenseful interactions between predators, prey, and environment set the stage for forests, rivers, and plains teeming with life. For now, float among these first pioneers on land. Feel the patient suspense of life exploring new frontiers, and let the universe's quiet rhythm guide you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how vertebrates first ventured onto land? How life expanded from tiny, creeping arthropods and primitive plants to animals with spines, lungs, and the potential for movement across vast landscapes. Imagine the suspense as fins slowly transformed into limbs, as lungs replaced gills, and as early amphibians tested the fragile balance between water and land. Every cautious step, every subtle adaptation carries suspense, shaping the trajectory of life for millions of years. Picture yourself drifting through a warm, shallow river delta. Early amphibians cautiously emerging from the water, their fins becoming sturdy limbs, eyes adjusting to air, and nostrils opening to inhale the oxygen-rich atmosphere. The scene is alive yet serene, filled with suspense, as every movement could determine life or death. Success means exploration and survival. Failure could mean disappearance. And the universe watches patiently as life experiments with new possibilities. Within these early terrestrial ecosystems, vertebrates begin to develop more complex sensory and motor systems, allowing them to detect predators, hunt prey, and navigate the evolving landscapes. Did you know that the transition from water to land required not only physical adaptations, but also subtle behavioral strategies, such as timing movements with tides and avoiding desiccation? Imagine the suspense as early amphibians balance these challenges, exploring riversides, forests, and floodplains. Each step a quiet experiment in evolution. Picture a small amphibian moving through dense ferns, avoiding shadows of larger predators, and seeking moisture near pools. Its body is fragile, yet resilient, each limb extending carefully, each movement deliberate. As survival depends on balance, timing, and environmental awareness, life is learning to navigate air, land, and water simultaneously, experimenting with locomotion, respiration, and feeding in a slow, hypnotic dance of persistence. As forests expand and plants grow taller, ecosystems become richer, creating microhabitats, shelters, and food sources for vertebrates. The suspense deepens. As predation and competition drive adaptations, spurring the evolution of stronger limbs, protective skin, and more sophisticated sensory organs. Did you know that early vertebrates were often nocturnal, using darkness to avoid predators while exploring new niches? Imagine drifting among these quiet forests and rivers, sensing the subtle suspense of life adapting to new challenges, floating over the first terrestrial ecosystems. You observe amphibians crawling near streams, small arthropods skittering over ferns, and early insects buzzing cautiously. Each interaction carries suspense, a patient tension where success and failure are separated by subtle differences in timing, speed, or strategy. The ecosystems are alive with quiet drama, a delicate balance of survival, cooperation, and experimentation, gently unfolding over millions of years. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that the first vertebrates venturing onto land are both brave and patient, exploring unknown territory with careful adaptations. Each step is a suspenseful leap, balancing risk and reward, and shaping the ecosystems of the future. You are connected to this process as the vertebrates that followed, and the complex life they enabled ultimately led to the forests, plains, and oceans teeming with creatures today. Each cautious step echoes through time. Picture tiny amphibians testing their limbs, pushing from water into mossy banks, sensing vibrations, observing shadows, and experimenting with early communication. Every choice carries suspense, for survival depends on awareness, adaptation, and patience. The rhythm of these early steps mirrors your own breathing, gentle, steady, and calming, allowing the suspense of evolution to soothe and relax your mind. As vertebrates diversify, early predators appear, feeding strategies evolve, and the suspenseful drama of terrestrial life intensifies. Ecosystems become more structured, energy flows between species, and survival requires coordination, strength, and subtle strategy. Did you know that these early interactions laid the groundwork for complex food webs that persist in modern forests and wetlands? Imagine the quiet suspense of evolutionary experimentation, where tiny successes ripple into massive diversity over millions of years. And as you lie here, sinking deeper into the comfort of your bed, let your mind drift among rivers, forests, and early amphibians. Feel the suspenseful tension of life, testing new frontiers, and sense the patient, deliberate rhythm of evolution. Each step, each breath, is a quiet triumph of persistence, adaptation, and patience. The universe whispers slowly, guiding life to explore, survive, and flourish in ways both subtle and profound. Soon, we will explore how vertebrates continued to evolve, giving rise to reptiles, mammals, and eventually the complex ecosystems that fill our world today. For now, float among these first pioneers on land. Feel the suspense of movement, adaptation, and exploration, and let the universe's quiet, patient rhythm carry you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how reptiles first dominated the land? How life evolved from delicate amphibians to creatures armored with scales, capable of surviving far from water? Imagine these first reptiles crawling through dense ferns, sunlight filtering through towering plants, each movement carrying suspense. For every step could determine survival or disappearance. life experiments cautiously, persistently, with subtle innovations that will echo through millions of years. Picture yourself shrinking to the size of an early reptile, drifting over a prehistoric forest floor where mosses, ferns, and towering primitive trees create a dappled, shifting landscape. Tiny reptiles move with careful deliberation, sensing vibrations, detecting shadows, and navigating the uneven terrain. The suspense is palpable. Each movement a quiet negotiation between safety and exploration, between hunger and vulnerability. Life tests its limits with patience and grace within these early forests. Reptiles evolve scales, stronger limbs, and internal fertilization, freeing them from dependence on water for reproduction. Did you know that these adaptations allowed reptiles to colonize new environments, spreading across plains, forests, and deserts? Imagine the suspense as creatures probe unfamiliar soils, avoid predators, and explore vertical spaces, balancing stealth and curiosity. Every interaction a delicate experiment in survival and innovation. Picture a small reptile navigating leaf litter and mossy logs, its eyes scanning for predators and prey, sensing subtle movements in the undergrowth. Every twitch, every pause is suspenseful, as the forest floor hides both danger and opportunity. The creatures learn to move efficiently, climb, burrow, and hunt, their bodies and behaviors shaped by patient evolutionary pressure. The universe orchestrates this quiet drama, guiding adaptation and resilience with subtlety and care. As forests grow taller and denser, ecosystems become more complex, creating layers of microhabitat, niches, and food sources. The suspense deepens, as survival now depends on coordination with the environment, clever hunting strategies, and avoidance of predators. Did you know that the rise of reptiles coincided with dramatic changes in climate, leading to the spread of dry, open areas and the formation of the first extensive forests? Imagine drifting among these landscapes, feeling the quiet suspense of life, exploring new frontiers, floating above a prehistoric forest. You see reptiles basking in sunlight, crawling over ferns, and cautiously exploring moss-covered logs. Tiny predators hunt small arthropods, while herbivorous reptiles graze quietly. Each action carries suspense, for life is fragile, yet patient, learning, adapting, and experimenting with survival. The rhythm of these interactions is hypnotic, a gentle story of persistence and quiet tension unfolding over millions of years. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that dominance and resilience are born not from sudden leaps, but from patient, incremental adaptation, that the first reptiles embody courage, curiosity, and quiet experimentation. Each step is suspenseful, balancing risk and reward, shaping the ecosystems of the future. You are connected to this process, as every modern vertebrate, from tiny lizards to massive mammals, carries the echoes of these early pioneers. Picture reptiles exploring riversides, floodplains, and forest edges, navigating shadows, humidity, and sunlight, sensing prey and predators, testing new behaviors. Each subtle movement is suspenseful, shaping survival strategies and ecological relationships. The quiet tension of predation, avoidance, and exploration drives innovation, adaptation, and diversification. Life experiments with mobility, defense, and foraging, quietly transforming the landscape with every interaction. As reptiles continue to diversify, some develop sharp teeth, claws, or protective shells, while others evolve camouflage, agility, and speed. The suspense is continuous, a delicate tension that tests persistence, strategy, and adaptability. Did you know that these early experiments in survival and specialization laid the groundwork for the rise of dinosaurs, mammals, and eventually the creatures that inhabit our planet today? Imagine floating among these early forests, sensing the quiet suspense of evolution, innovation, and exploration, and as you lie here, feeling your body relax and your mind drift, let yourself float among these prehistoric forests, sensing the suspenseful interactions of reptiles, plants, and smaller creatures. Imagine the delicate balance of survival, adaptation, and persistence. The rhythm of life mirrors your own slow breathing, gentle, steady, and calming, allowing the quiet suspense of evolution to lull you deeper into rest. Soon, we will explore the rise of the first mammals, the evolution of flight in reptiles, and the suspenseful unfolding of ecosystems that will eventually dominate land, air, and water. For now, float among these first reptiles. Feel the tension of adaptation and exploration, and let the patient, deliberate rhythm of the universe guide you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how the first mammals quietly crept into a world dominated by reptiles? How these small nocturnal creatures carved out niches of survival in forests and plains? Imagine them moving under the cover of darkness, sensing every vibration, sniffing the air, and testing the safety of each shadowed crevice. Every moment carries suspense, for the slightest misstep could mean life or death. Yet patience, ingenuity, and adaptation allow survival. Picture yourself shrinking down to the size of a tiny mammal, your fur soft and warm, whiskers twitching as you explore mossy logs and leaf litter. The forest floor is a labyrinth of scent trails, rustling leaves, and predator shadows. The suspense is palpable as you move cautiously, detecting the faint heartbeat of insects beneath leaves, the glint of reptilian eyes above, and the gentle sway of plants in the wind. Every movement is a careful negotiation with the environment. Within these early nocturnal worlds, mammals evolve keen senses of smell, hearing, and touch, guiding them through darkness. Did you know that the evolution of endothermy, or warm, allowed early mammals to stay active at night, avoid daytime predators, and explore new ecological niches? Imagine the suspense as these tiny pioneers forage for seeds, insects, or small plants, their every decision a delicate experiment in survival, each choice echoing across generations. Picture drifting along a quiet forest at night, where shadows stretch and move in subtle patterns, tiny mammals scuttling along roots, climbing logs, and weaving through ferns. Their hearts beat in rhythm with suspense, alert to predators, yet driven by hunger and curiosity. The nocturnal symphony is alive with the whispers of wind, rustling leaves, and distant calls, each sense heightened, each movement purposeful, as life quietly experiments with mobility, stealth, and survival. As these early mammals thrive, reptiles continue to dominate the daylight hours. Yet the nocturnal niche offers safety and opportunity. The suspense is constant, as every shadow may conceal a threat or a chance for discovery. Did you know that early mammals laid the foundation for complex behaviors, social structures, and intelligence by exploiting the challenges of nighttime survival? Imagine the tension as they explore, evade, and adapt, navigating the suspenseful interplay of light, shadow, and sound. Floating above this nocturnal world, you witness tiny mammals climbing trees, burrowing under roots, and scurrying over the forest floor. Insects buzz softly, and small amphibians hop cautiously. Each interaction carries suspense, each adaptation a quiet triumph. For life experiments in silence, innovation, and persistence. The forests hum with subtle drama, an intricate tapestry of survival and patience, quietly unfolding across eons. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that the small, seemingly insignificant mammals embody curiosity, caution, and resilience. Each whisker twitch, each careful step is suspenseful, shaping future lineages and possibilities. You are connected to this process as the creatures that thrive in shadow, patience, and adaptation eventually gave rise to the incredible diversity of mammals, including the ones that share your world today. Each tiny success echoes through the corridors of time. Picture early reptiles taking to the skies, experimenting with gliding or flight. While mammals explore burrows and trees, the suspense is immense as new modes of survival emerge, balancing risk, reward, and environmental challenges. Each leap into the unknown is a quiet testament to persistence and adaptation. Life experiments with wings, claws, and fur. Patience guiding every innovation, gently shaping ecosystems in ways both subtle and profound. As ecosystems grow more intricate, competition and cooperation intensify. Nocturnal mammals interacting with insects, reptiles, and amphibians. Each movement carries suspense as evolutionary pressures test sensory acuity, agility, and behavior. The rhythm of these interactions is hypnotic, a gentle tension that drives creativity, survival, and complexity. Life experiments incrementally, each success building upon the last, forming the foundations for forests teeming with mammals, birds, and other creatures. And as you lie here, feeling your body sink deeper into the comfort of your bed, let your mind drift among nocturnal forests. Sense the suspenseful interactions of mammals, insects, and early reptiles. Imagine the quiet thrill of survival, the patience, ingenuity, and subtle tension of life navigating darkness. The rhythm of the universe mirrors your slow, steady breathing, gentle, hypnotic, and soothing, carrying curiosity, wonder, and calm into sleep. Soon, we will explore the rise of larger mammals, the evolution of flight in birds, and the suspenseful diversification of terrestrial and aerial ecosystems. For now, float among these first mammals, feel the suspense of adaptation and exploration, and let the universe's quiet, deliberate rhythm guide you deeper into rest and calm. Have you ever wondered how the first creatures took to the skies? How reptiles gradually transformed into birds, growing feathers, wings, and the courage to explore heights that seemed impossible. Imagine the suspense as tiny dinosaurs experiment with gliding, jumping from branches, adjusting feathered limbs, sensing the wind, and discovering new ways to move through space. Every flap, every leap carries suspense, for the skies are both opportunity and danger. Picture yourself shrinking down to the size of a small feathered dinosaur, perching on a branch, feeling the cool breeze ruffle delicate plumage. The forest below stretches endlessly, filled with ferns, towering trees, and shifting shadows. The suspense is palpable as you contemplate each leap into the unknown, balancing gravity, air currents, and muscle strength. Life experiments with lift, balance, and navigation, a quiet story of risk, persistence, and innovation. Within these early forests, feathers evolve not just for flight, but for insulation, display, and sensory perception. Did you know that the first feathers likely helped creatures survive temperature fluctuations and attract mates before they were ever used to soar? Imagine the suspense as these creatures test every branch, every glide, every wind gust, pushing the limits of possibility. Each small experiment in flight is a patient, suspenseful dance with gravity, risk, and adaptation. Picture a small feathered dinosaur leaping from branch to branch, gliding over ferns, wings adjusting, tail balancing, eyes scanning for prey and predators. Every movement is calculated, suspenseful, a delicate negotiation with nature's forces. The first experiments with flight are slow, careful, and mesmerizing, teaching life to harness wind, master balance, and expand territory. Every glide, every flap, is a triumph of persistence, patience, and curiosity. As forests rise higher and sunlight filters through dense canopies, aerial niches open, providing new opportunities for hunting, scavenging, and exploration. The suspense intensifies, as every shadow may conceal danger or reward. Did you know that these first gliders eventually evolved into birds capable of powered flight, reshaping ecosystems and connecting distant habitats? Imagine drifting among these early flyers, feeling the thrill of exploration and the tension of survival in 3 dimensions. Floating alongside a tiny feathered dinosaur, you sense its wings catching the wind, its tail adjusting for balance, and its senses tuned to movement and vibration. The suspense is both quiet and immense, for life experiments in uncharted territory, navigating the delicate balance between air and earth, between predator and prey, between curiosity and caution. Life teaches patience, risk management, and adaptation in subtle, hypnotic rhythms. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that flight is born not from sudden leaps, but from patient experimentation, observation, and subtle innovation. That the creatures who first mastered the skies embody courage, curiosity, and ingenuity. Each flap, each glide, each delicate landing carries suspense, shaping the evolution of ecosystems from treetops to plains. You are connected to this process, as every bird today carries echoes of these early aerial pioneers. Picture early birds exploring new heights, diving for insects, gliding over rivers, and resting on treetops. The forest alive with shadows and movement. Each interaction carries suspense, from predator avoidance to food capture, from nest building to territorial disputes. The rhythm of life becomes 3-dimensional, a mesmerizing ballet of wings, wind, and survival. Life experiments quietly persistently balancing opportunity, danger, and adaptation in ways both subtle and profound. As vertebrates continue to diversify, mammals explore new nocturnal niches, reptiles dominate open plains, and birds experiment with flight. The suspense is constant, a gentle tension guiding innovation, adaptation, and ecological expansion. Did you know that the rise of flight in birds allowed them to escape predators, colonize islands, and exploit new food sources, shaping ecosystems that continue to evolve today? Imagine floating among these early forests, sensing the quiet suspense of survival and exploration. And as you lie here, feeling your body sink deeper into comfort, let your mind drift among treetops, forest canopies, and open skies. Sense the suspenseful glide of early birds, the patience of life experimenting with air, and the gentle rhythm of evolution. Imagine the quiet thrill of discovery, adaptation, and exploration. The universe whispers slowly, guiding creatures to navigate, survive, and flourish in ways both subtle and beautiful. Soon, we will explore the rise of flowering plants, the spread of ecosystems, and the suspenseful interplay between birds, insects, and mammals that will shape the modern world. For now, float among these first flyers. Feel the tension and wonder of aerial exploration, and let the universe's patient, deliberate rhythm carry you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how flowering plants transformed the earth? How they quietly reshaped landscapes, drew insects and birds into suspenseful dances of pollination, and created lush, colorful ecosystems? Imagine the first flowers opening their delicate petals to sunlight, releasing sweet scents into the air, each bloom a quiet invitation to pollinators. Every moment carries suspense, for survival depends on timing, attraction, and cooperation. Life experiments with beauty, chemistry, and communication. Picture yourself shrinking to the size of an early bee, your tiny wings fluttering as you explore a meadow of nascent flowers. Each scent and color carries information, guiding you to nectar and pollen. The suspense is palpable, as each choice may lead to nourishment or wasted effort. Every movement a subtle negotiation with wind, gravity, and plant structures. Life experiments with movement, sensory perception, and subtle strategy in ways both gentle and profound within these early flowering ecosystems. Plants evolve intricate shapes, vibrant colors, and chemical rewards, attracting insects, birds, and small mammals. Did you know that this coevolution between flowers and pollinators created a quiet, suspenseful symphony, each species influencing the evolution of the other? Imagine drifting among these first gardens of color, sensing the subtle tension and cooperation that drives both survival and reproduction. Each interaction a quiet experiment in adaptation and attraction. Picture a tiny bee landing on a delicate flower, legs brushing pollen, antennae sensing scent, wings quivering as it prepares to lift off. Each micro-movement carries suspense, as predators, wind, and competition challenge success. The dance of pollination is both gentle and thrilling, a subtle negotiation between flower and visitor. Timing, precision, and patience guide every interaction. Life experiments with communication, reward, and exploration. As flowering plants diversify, ecosystems become richer, creating dense forests, meadows, and riverbanks teeming with life. The suspense intensifies as plants compete for sunlight, soil, and pollinators, while insects, birds, and mammals adapt to these new opportunities. Did you know that flowering plants transformed the diet, behavior, and evolution of countless species, encouraging nocturnal activity, flight, and intricate foraging strategies? Imagine floating through these landscapes, feeling the suspenseful rhythm of coevolution and interdependence. Floating among vibrant early meadows, you witness butterflies, bees, and early birds moving between blooms, each visit carrying suspense, each encounter shaping the reproductive success of plants and the survival of pollinators. The quiet rhythm of flowers opening and closing, insects landing and taking flight, creates a mesmerizing ballet of life, subtle yet profound, gently unfolding over millions of years. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that life's collaboration is born not from force, but from patience, observation, and subtle communication. That flowers and their pollinators are partners in a suspenseful experiment of survival, adaptation, and beauty. Each flutter, each visit, each bloom contributes to a delicate network of interdependence. You are connected to this process as the plants, insects, and birds of today carry echoes of these first suspensive interactions. Picture early birds feeding on nectar, their movements careful, precise, adjusting for flower shape and wind, while insects navigate petals, pollen clinging to their legs, and mammals explore foliage for fruit. Each micro-interaction carries suspense, as every choice and adaptation influences survival and reproduction. Life experiments with diet, movement, and behavior, gradually shaping rich, layered ecosystems. As flowering plants continue to dominate, insects evolve specialized structures to gather nectar. Birds adapt bills and tongues for precise feeding, and mammals learn to forage selectively. The suspense is continuous, a delicate tension that drives innovation, survival, and diversification. Did you know that this coevolution created the foundation for modern ecosystems, ensuring balance, abundance, and resilience across landscapes? Imagine drifting through these early forests and meadows, sensing the quiet suspense that nurtures life's complexity. And as you lie here, feeling your body relax and your mind drift, let yourself float among blooming flowers, humming insects, and careful birds. Sense the suspenseful tension of coevolution, the patient rhythm of adaptation, and the gentle pulse of life exploring new niches. Imagine the quiet beauty of flowers opening to sunlight, pollinators dancing from bloom to bloom, and ecosystems building themselves layer by layer. The universe whispers patience, persistence, and gentle suspense, guiding life to flourish. Soon we will explore the rise of mammals and birds in more detail, the formation of modern forests and grasslands, and the suspenseful interplay that will shape Earth as we know it today. For now, float among these first flowering plants and pollinators. Feel the tension, rhythm, and beauty of their interactions, and let the patient, deliberate heartbeat of evolution carry you deeper into calm and sleep. Have you ever wondered how Earth's ecosystems reached the rich, intricate balance we see today? How mammals, birds, insects, and plants all evolved together in suspenseful harmony. Imagine sprawling forests, golden grasslands, and sparkling rivers, each layer teeming with life, every interaction a subtle drama of survival, adaptation, and cooperation, every shadow, every rustle of leaves carries suspense. As life navigates opportunity and threat, persistence and patience, picture yourself floating above a vast prehistoric forest, sunlight filtering through towering canopies, birds flitting from branch to branch, mammals exploring forest floors, and insects dancing among flowers. The suspense is palpable, as every creature senses its surroundings, moves cautiously, and interacts with others. Life experiments with behavior, strategy, and adaptation, learning in slow, deliberate increments, crafting ecosystems both delicate and resilient. Within these mature ecosystems, species diversify, specializing in diet, habitat, and activity patterns. Did you know that predator-prey dynamics, symbiotic relationships, and competition for resources drive suspenseful innovation? Imagine the quiet tension as mammals hunt at night, birds forage by day, and insects navigate blooms and leaves. Every interaction shapes survival, population balance, and evolutionary pathways, creating a tapestry of suspenseful life. Picture a fox silently moving through undergrowth, ears twitching, nose sniffing, eyes alert for the slightest movement. Nearby, deer graze cautiously, insects buzz among flowers, and birds call overhead. Each moment is suspenseful, a test of senses, agility, and awareness. Life experiments in real time with hunting, evasion, and resource utilization, balancing risk and reward in ways both subtle and profound. As mammals expand into grasslands and forests, some evolve herding behaviors, nocturnal activity, and complex social structures, enhancing survival. The suspense intensifies as individuals coordinate movement, communicate subtly, and navigate the threats of predators and competition. Did you know that these early social behaviors laid the foundation for intelligence, cooperation, and eventually human societies? Imagine drifting among these mammals, sensing the quiet suspense that shapes group survival and individual adaptation. Floating above meadows, forests, and rivers, you witness the interplay of species, each adapted to its niche. Each leaf turned, each predator stalked, each flight of a bird carries suspense. Every action, small or large, contributes to ecosystem balance. Life experiments with timing, movement, and cooperation, weaving a network of survival strategies that echoes across millennia. Consider the poetic reflection of this process, that the richness of Earth's ecosystems arises not from chaos alone, but from patient, persistent experimentation, careful adaptation, and quiet suspense, that every creature, from tiny pollinating insect to towering herbivore, participates in the delicate negotiation of survival and balance. You are connected to this process, as every breath, step, and heartbeat today exists because of the patient experimentation of life through eons. Picture rivers flowing through forests, creating habitats for amphibians, fish, and mammals, while birds soar above, insects pollinate, and predators lurk in shadows. Each interaction is suspenseful, balancing opportunity, risk, and reward. life experiments with diet, habitat, reproduction, and cooperation, gradually creating the modern ecosystems we know. The rhythm of life is hypnotic, a slow, deliberate pulse carrying the tension and beauty of survival. As flowering plants continue to dominate, birds specialize in feeding strategies. Insects diversify into complex roles, and mammals explore new behaviors. The suspense is constant, a gentle tension guiding innovation, adaptation, and ecological expansion. Did you know that these dynamics also influence climate, soil composition, and the very structure of habitats? Imagine drifting among these mature ecosystems, sensing the quiet suspense of interactions that maintain balance, resilience, and richness. And as you lie here, letting your body sink deeper into comfort, allow your mind to float among forests, grasslands, rivers, and skies. Sense the suspenseful rhythms of predator and prey, pollinator and flower, mammal and bird. Imagine the patient, deliberate experimentation of life shaping every niche. Every shadow and movement whispers the beauty of adaptation, the patience of survival, and the quiet rhythm of the universe. Soon, as we close this journey, you will drift gently through the history of life on Earth, reflecting on the suspenseful unfolding of evolution, the patient, deliberate crafting of ecosystems, and the delicate balance that sustains all living things. For now, float among these mature ecosystems. Feel the rhythm of survival, adaptation, and cooperation, and let the universe's quiet, deliberate heartbeat carry you deeper into calm and sleep.